Black August, a rallying point for our collective liberation. George Jackson was a respected and beloved freedom fighter who became politically conscious while in captivity. He was a Black Panther, writer, and revolutionary who was targeted and murdered by the state during an organized rebellion in San Quentin prison on August 21st, 1971. Even after his death, his political writing and legacy continues to educate and influence revolutionaries in the Black liberation struggle and beyond. Black August was founded by political prisoners to honor the life of George Jackson and the many freedom fighters past and present who have been held captive due to their steadfast commitment to our collective liberation. We honor those who became martyrs while in captivity, like Merle Africa, Safiya Bukhari, and Dr. Mutulu Shakur, and struggle for the liberation of those who are still alive and fighting from behind the prison walls, like Mumia Abu-Jamal, Fred Muhammad Burton, and Powell. These are only a few of the thousands of political prisoners, named and unnamed, who have not abandoned their commitment to our collective liberation, despite the most dire forms of persecution. Therefore, we must not abandon them. We must do all that we can to affirm their humanity, resist criminalization, and organize in our fight for collective liberation on the other side of the wall. Study, fast, train, fight, the motto of Black August. Political prisoners observe Black August with reflection, study, and focus on how the Black liberation struggle can and must be advanced. They refrain from using radios or televisions, fast between sunrise and sunset, and practice other measures of self-discipline. This is a lesson for all committed to bringing an end to unnecessary suffering and premature death caused by enslavement via mass incarceration and or wage enslavement under the capitalist and imperialist economic systems. Beyond August and beyond the traditional prison. Observing Black August is a call to action to free them all and tear down every type of prison that exists, from Angola to the rapidly growing immigrant detention centers. From incarceration to ICE, these are all concentration camps for Black and fellow working class people. These torture facilities exist solely for the benefit of the rich ruling class of this country and the politicians who serve them, to keep us afraid, divided, and socially controlled. Concentration camps act as backdoors to reintroduce slave labor. They are normalized by the CEOs, the construction companies that build them, and the political puppets that greenlight these carceral development projects, manipulatively saying they bring jobs and economic development to isolated communities. We must reject all justifications for concentration camps. No economy rooted in kidnapping and torturing other human beings is acceptable. While not everyone is a political prisoner, every arrest under a system of exploitation and oppression is political. Concentration camps by any name, jail, prison, juvenile and immigration detention centers, etc., must be abolished. This can and should be done on the larger path towards social, political, and economic socialist revolution, not capitalist reform. Who is really taking food off your table? Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, OBBBA, is really one big brutal bill meant to completely gut the working class, while handing over our resources to the corporate elite on a gold platter that we are paying for. The bill is meant to be implemented in stages over the next 10 years, meaning that we as working class people must use this moment to disrupt the massive looting of our resources. The bill will provide an additional $75 billion to ICE's already $11 billion budget, making it the highest funded federal law enforcement agency. $46 billion will go to border wall expansion. Medicaid will be slashed by $1 trillion, which will result in 700 hospitals shutting down, 11% countrywide. Food stamps will be gutted by $200 billion. Education and workforce programs by $330 billion, as well as already stated plans to cut, if not completely eliminate, emergency disaster and response aid programs like FEMA, and even shutting down natural disaster alert systems altogether. Corporate subsidies, however, will increase at record rates. Alligator Alcatraz was constructed in 8 days to hold up to 1,000 people. There always seems to be money for detention centers, jails, prisons, cops, imperialist wars, and family separations, but no money for healthcare, education, libraries, and now disaster alert systems. Concentration camps are promoted by the rich ruling class as investments in safety, at the expense of making sure clean water comes out of our pipes or fixing roads and bridges. Not Trump's war, the class war. The working class can and must fight back. The Trump regime has only been able to escalate fascism at this level because of decades-long cooperation between Democrats and Republicans to increase funding of ICE, founded in 2003. Prisons, police, and war budgets, while working hand in hand to slash funding of our public institutions and infrastructure. Both parties loyally serve the rich ruling class in the class war. They are able to come together regularly, despite their political differences on how to perpetuate capitalism, so they can secure the interests of the rich ruling class, which is to maintain social control and profit. When propaganda and scarcity doesn't do the job, the rich ruling class and political misleaders have no problem using special bodies of armed men against us that they fund with taxes from our labor. ICE is already operating as secret police, and concentration camps are being built to disappear working class people from the convenience of those in power. The ICE budget itself is larger than the military budget of many European countries, and the countrywide police budget is the third largest military budget in the world. The expansion of concentration camps and the propagandas that justify them are all weapons used against us in the class war. The working class can and must fight back. In the words of revolutionary black martyr George Jackson, settle your quarrels, come together, understand the reality of our situation, understand that fascism is already here, that people are already dying who could be saved, that generations more will live poor, butchered half lives if you fail to act. Do what must be done. Discover your humanity and your love and revolution. Brother said that in 1970. Our common enemy is not other working class people. It's the rich ruling class who maintain the capitalist state. More of us than them. There's always something to be done in the face of criminalization, unnecessary suffering, and premature death. But it must be done collectively with fellow working class people. We can start by developing relationships with our neighbors to resolve issues of concerns instead of calling the police who never actually saw the problem and usually make things worse. We can get together and demand our local government invest in free and timely bus routes, living wage jobs, more library and youth programming, and stand up to school shutdowns. We can practice first aid and develop rapid response plans with each other during disasters, both man-made and natural. How do things like this help us put a stop to the growth of concentration camps and state-sanctioned kidnappings? These seemingly small acts we take today with others are the foundation for bigger battles ahead and will help us build our confidence and abilities as we move forward in the class war. Organizing the working class to overcome all manufactured divisions and rely on our collective power instead of on the capitalist state is the foundation of our defense. We outnumber the bosses, CEOs, corporate stakeholders, and political misleaders in this country by millions and globally by the billions, from delivering construction materials, food, and weapons to running power lines and fixing roads. We have the power to disrupt the profit and destruction of the rich ruling class head on. We do not have to look outside of the working class for solutions that liberate the working class. As individuals, our impact will always be limited. But as a collective force, we have the power to sweep away this rotten system and build a system that works for all working class people. Let us take encouragement and inspiration from political prisoners who, even under the most dire conditions and the highest levels of surveillance, are proactively organizing against their own captivity. We know Mumia Abu-Jamal's name because he is leading a struggle for his own freedom. We are organizing to free them all and to shut down every type of concentration camp, from state correctional institution at Mahoney, where Mumia is held, to Alligator Alcatraz, because those who are kept in captivity are willing to fight back. The first Black August was observed in 1979, and 46 years later, it's our political prisoners who have kept their struggle alive. As the working class, we aren't outnumbered, we are out-strategized. It's time to come together in principled solidarity and start building a fight back that will outlive today's oppressors and be passed on until every wall has fallen, until we have won the class war.